Story is about a man whose music has reached every corner of the globe. A man who went from singing on street corners to selling out the world's biggest stadiums. But his journey wasn't always destined for greatness. It was carved out of challenge, vulnerability, and determination. This is the story of Ed Sheeran.
Do you know this one?
Edward Christopher Sheeran was born on the 17th of February, 1991, in Halifax, West Yorkshire. Early on, the family lived in the Pennine town of Hebden Bridge, on Birchcliff Road, before life began to pull them steadily to new places. His parents, John and Imogen, were Londoners by origin, culturally plugged in, forward-looking. His father Irish, from what Ed would later describe as a very large Catholic family. John worked as an art curator and lecturer, Imogen as a culture publicist, later turning her eye and hand to jewelry design. Together they ran an independent art consultancy, Sheeran Locke, from 1990 to 2010. It was not just an office, it was an environment of ideas, conversation, images, creative gravity. Even in the extended family, stories held weight. Ed's grandfather, from Belfast, was a Protestant who married a Catholic in an era when that was far more than a footnote. It was a risk. It was a stance. Even Ed's roots were tangled with the complexity of history. His grandfather was a Belfast Protestant who married a Catholic during a time when that union alone could divide a community. That mix, that tension, that duality, it was in Ed's blood before he ever learned a chord. But Ed carried something else too. Something physical, something visible. Sheeran entered the world with a distinctive birthmark on his face. When he was a toddler, around 18 months old, doctors attempted to remove it using laser surgery, but the procedure carried consequences no one could have foreseen. According to the family's recollection, there were complications with the anesthetic, which affected his nervous system.
I had a port wine stain birthmark on my face that I got lasered off when I was very young, and one day they forgot to put the anesthetic on, and then ever since then I had a stutter.
Years later, he would describe those moments as feeling as if his own voice had turned against him. In a world that required speaking, demanded expression, he was the boy who wasn't sure his words would arrive when he needed them. By late 1995, the family relocated to Framlingham in Suffolk. Here, Ed attended Brandeston Hall, now Framlingham College Prep School, before moving on to Thomas Mills High School. And he wasn't alone. He had an older brother, Matthew, who would go on to become a composer. From a young age, Ed showed a natural connection to music. He sang in a local church choir at age 4, learned guitar at 11, and began writing songs during high school. He also played cello. A 2004 school report described him as a natural performer, and classmates voted him most likely to be famous. School, already chaotic for most children, became even more difficult. He had red hair, he wore glasses, and now he struggled to speak. He was a target before he even walked into a room. The teasing was relentless, sometimes cruel, and for Ed, silence began to feel safer than risk. Some days he barely spoke at all, not because he didn't have thoughts, but because he feared what would happen if he tried to share them. He later described it like this: it was as if his own voice worked against him, silencing him in a world that demanded sound. He jokes in his AIS speech about being a very weird child.
I was a very, very, very weird child. Very weird child. And I also had very, very big blue NHS glasses. NHS is the National Health Service. One day, I hope you'll have the same. Just saying. And I lacked an eardrum on one side of my face, so to one side of my ear. Stuttering was actually the least of my problems.
But his humor masked a deeper struggle, constant self-consciousness, the anxiety of speaking, and a longing to belong. His message to others has always been to embrace authenticity, not to fit in with the cool kids. Music became his refuge. In interviews, Ed has described how he would retreat into songwriting and guitar playing.
When I first started out, I saw Damien Rice in concert, and I mention it in a song. I said I won't stop till my name's in lights, Stadium Heights with Damien Rice, and literally like I watched him and was like, I want to do that one day, and wrote a million songs, did a million gigs, and have ended up kind of doing a similar thing.
It gave him a way to express himself when speech failed him. He could communicate through melody, lyrics, and rhythm when words alone felt impossible. A turning point came when his father bought him Eminem's The Marshall Mathers LP.
It's a funny one, that, because when I was 9, I was going through all sorts of speech therapy, and when I was 9, my uncle bought me the Marshall Mathers LP, and he just said to my dad, this guy's the next Bob Dylan, you got to let him listen. My dad didn't really clock it, you know, he was just like, okay, Edward's going to go and listen to that. And by learning that record and rapping it back to back to back to back, it cured my stutter, and I stopped, you know, talking like that.
This exercise strengthened his confidence and helped him realize that communication could take many forms, not just spoken words. For most people who overcome stuttering, it's normally due to hearing continuous fluency, which is why Sheeran has publicly admitted that Eminem is the reason for curing his stutter. I guess that through rapping continuously, Sheeran has somehow managed to defy all odds by overcoming stuttering due to this. Years later, speaking at the American Institute of Stuttering, he reflected,
Stuttering is not a thing you have to be worried about at all, and even if you have quirks and weirdness, you shouldn't be worried about that.
For a boy who once felt silenced, music became not just a passion, but a lifeline, a way to finally be heard. The experience of feeling trapped by his own words would stay with him, shaping both his songwriting and his empathy for others struggling in silence. As a teenager, he was accepted into the National Youth Theatre in London and joined Youth Music Theatre UK's production of Frankenstein, a new musical, in 2007. He later became a patron of Youth Music Theatre UK and studied artist development at Access to Music. He is a second cousin of Northern Irish broadcaster Gordon Burns. Ed began recording music in 2004 and, at 13, independently released Spinning Man. He played gigs with friends like Passenger and moved to London in 2008, performing in small venues.
When my love, that heart is so cold, all over my arm, I don't want to know that, babe, I like when my...
That year, he auditioned for ITV's Britannia High and opened for Nislapi in Norwich as a guitar technician. In 2009, he studied at the Academy of Contemporary Music in Guildford, but left to support hip-hop artist Just Jack. He released the EP You Need Me and collaborated with singer Ledra Chapman. In February 2010, Ed posted a video through SB.TV, leading rapper Example to invite him on tour. That month, he also released Loose Change, featuring his future debut single, The A-Team. His online presence grew through YouTube, and he gained recognition from The Independent and Elton John. Ed self-released 2 other EPs in 2010, Ed Sheeran, Live at the Bedford, and Songs I Wrote with Amy, a collection of love songs written with Amy Wadge. During a trip to Los Angeles, he performed at Jamie Foxx's club, The Foxhole, leading to an invitation to stay at Fox's home. By his teens, Ed was writing and recording his own songs. Armed with a guitar and loop pedal, he busked in London streets.
The words that make you blush, I'm gonna sing this now. See, I'm true, my songs are where my heart is, I'm like glue.
Slept on friends' sofas, and sometimes stayed on the underground. Life wasn't glamorous, but Ed believed in himself, and gradually, the world began to believe in him too. In 2011, he released The A-Team. Raw and heartbreaking, the song showcased his storytelling gift, climbing charts and earning critical acclaim. Music had become survival, and while fame was on the horizon, it was his relentless dedication and refusal to give in to fear that set him apart.
Call me young gun like I was a pistol in the primary. Speaking cold's no irony. Irony is that I don't have a beautiful mind at all. I'm not a dinosaur, it's no time to pause. Deep thought with my feet sore from walking. Not a lot of money for a cheap Porsche, though I don't drive.
His big break came in January 2011 with No. 5 Collaborations project, featuring grime artists like Wiley, JME, Devlin, Sway, and Getz. The EP reached No. 2 on iTunes without promotion, selling over 7,000 copies in its first week. 3 months later, he played multiple free shows at the Barfly in Camden Town, performing to over 1,000 fans across 4 gigs. Later that month, he signed with Asylum Records. Later that year, he released his debut album, Plus, led by the A-Team. The album topped UK charts, went multi-platinum, and earned him the 2012 Brit Awards for Best British Male Solo Artist and British Breakthrough Act. His second album, Multiply, 2014, elevated him to global superstardom with hits like Sing, Thinking Out Loud, and Photograph. Thinking Out Loud won 2 Grammys, including Song of the Year.
I'm thinking about how people fall in love in mysterious
In
ways.
2017, Divide became a cultural phenomenon. Singles like Shape of You, Castle on the Hill, Galway Girl, and Perfect dominated charts worldwide. The Divide Tour, 2017 to 2019, became the highest-grossing tour ever, earning $776 million. He followed with No. 6 Collaborations project, 2019, featuring duets with Justin Bieber, Khalid, and Cardi B. After a hiatus, he returned in 2021 with Equals, including hits Bad Habits and Shivers. In 2023, he released Subtract, co-written with Aaron Dessner, and later defended himself in a copyright case over Thinking Out Loud. That same year, he released Autumn Variations, his first fully independent album under Gingerbread Man Records. By 2025, Ed had sold over 150 million records worldwide, won 4 Grammys, and continued headlining stadiums across the globe. His albums, Plus, Times, Divide, and Equals, have sold millions, with Shape of You becoming one of the most streamed songs in history.
Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with the shape of
He has collaborated with Taylor Swift, Beyoncé, Elton John, Justin Bieber, and One Direction. Think about it. A boy who once struggled to say his own name without stuttering now has millions singing his words back in stadiums across the globe. Each achievement is a testament not just to talent, but to resilience, grit, and the courage to keep going despite fear and doubt.
Like, my dream was not where I am now. My dream was ages before. It was just to be a singer and make a living from it.
Success did not shield Ed from struggle. Behind the fame, awards, and sold-out stadiums, he battled depression and anxiety. Despite global recognition, he has spoken candidly about feeling isolated.
It's an album about grief and
growth.
depression and stuff, and
Yeah.
and I feel that I don't want to give too much context and hammer home, because I don't want people listening to Eyes Closed and be like, this is about Ed's friend that died. I want people to listen to it and relate it to their own life. No one in the world who likes my music listens to Perfect and goes, oh, that's about Ed's wife Cherry and he wrote that.
In 2022, Ed revealed one of his darkest periods, coping with grief and the pressures of fame while balancing family life. He sought therapy to address long-standing patterns of depression and anxiety dating back to childhood. Speaking about it, he said, I've always had real lows in my life. I've dealt with depression and anxiety since I was a kid. The help I got was talking to people about it. The more open you are, the more help you can get, and the more you realize you're not alone. Ed's willingness to share his struggles highlighted an important truth. Mental health challenges don't vanish with success. They evolve. Fame can intensify pressures rather than erase them. Healing meant vulnerability, acknowledging the darkness, and leaning on trusted people for support. By sharing his story, Ed encouraged millions to confront their own struggles. His journey shows that even those who seem to have everything can still feel broken, and that seeking help is strength, not weakness.
I was thinking I don't want to cry in front of 78,000 people, and I found myself really close at times.
I want to make people happy. I think it's the best job in the world, and that's why I do it.
Moving to his personal life, in July 2015, Sheeran began dating Cherry Seaborn, a childhood friend and former secondary school classmate. The couple announced their engagement in January 2018 and married the following year. Seaborn inspired Sheeran's hit song Perfect. Together, they have 2 daughters, born in 2020 and 2022. It's clear that his family plays a vital role in keeping Sheeran grounded, offering stability and perspective amid the highs of fame and the challenges that come with it. What makes Ed Sheeran's story remarkable is not just talent, but resilience. Through every high and low, he has remained committed to his craft and to himself. He has faced fame, expectation, and personal battles without letting them define him. He transformed struggle into art. By sharing his experiences, he connects with millions, proving that vulnerability isn't a barrier for success. His albums are milestones of dedication, authenticity, and courage. Success does not erase hardship, but it can coexist with it. Embracing both triumphs and struggles is part of a meaningful life. Ed Sheeran's legacy is not only in records sold or awards won, but in the hope and inspiration he offers. Through his music and openness, he shows that no matter the obstacles, it is possible to rise, connect, and leave a lasting mark, one song at a time. Today, Ed continues to create, perform, and inspire. His songs are not just hits, they are reminders that no matter your struggle, you can still find your place in this world. Thank you, Ed, for inspiring myself and millions of people all over the world, and to encourage to stay true to yourself no matter what life throws your way. Your story has proven to us that vulnerability doesn't have to demise our success. Thank you, Ed.